Director Wes Anderson gave Jason Schwartzman his big break back in 1998 when he cast him in the lead role in Rushmore. And the collaboration continued through such memorable films like The Darjeeling Limited and Fantastic Mr. Fox. Well, now they've teamed up one more time on Anderson's latest comic opus, The Grand Budapest Hotel. It is spectacular. It's an epic tale of a legendary concierge, a priceless painting, and the battle for a huge family fortune. And we are delighted to have Jason Schwartzman joining us this morning. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. How are you?
We're great, and we're delighted to have you. I had the opportunity to screen the movie yesterday, and I'm a huge fan of Wes Anderson scripts, as I'm sure you are. So when a brand new Wes Anderson script crosses your desk, what is your typical reaction?
My typical reaction is, wow, I have a desk. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have a desk in my real life. I am first and foremost a gigantic fan of Wes's movies, and so anytime anyone asks me about Wes's movies, the first thing I think is, well, how would you feel? It's pretty much the same thing. I'm a fan of his movies, and I love them. I love going to see them, and the ones that I wasn't in, I went and saw the night that they opened in LA here. And so for me, it's like when you read the script, it's just a delight. Like, what's going to happen next? And you know that he is he's so visual and creates his own world, and so watching it, you're just kind of imagining what he is imagining, and picturing what's going to be. And so for me, it's just it's an ultimate honor, first and foremost, to be invited back to be in the movies.
And it is such a treat to watch. As you mentioned, Anderson known for his distinct visual style. So not only are the characters and the storylines so unique, but what we see on screen ends up being so unique as well. When you're on set and in the middle of it, do you have any idea of how it will turn out when it hits the big screen?
Well, you never know how anything's going to turn out, which is one of the great things about making a movie. It's kind of like a high-flying act in so many ways, because you work so hard, and then months later this thing comes out and you go to see it and you have no idea what it's going to be. But I will say that with Wes, you have a pretty good idea of what it's going to be, and I think that's not only because he's made so many movies and you are familiar with his style, but when you're on set, the way he works, he shoots it almost like he's going to be editing it, so you have a feeling just based on how the camera moves like this many times in a scene. He doesn't cut a lot, so it almost is edited in real time, so you kind of have a flavor for what it's going to be like when it's ultimately done. And also you are on the set looking around at these beautiful props and costumes and stuff, so you really do have a true, like, high-definition feeling of actually being there. It's a real thrill for me, because you put on the outfits and you really do feel like, wow, I'm in this world, and it's totally exciting.
And as a viewer, it's such a treat to be submersed into the world as well. Wes Anderson has assembled yet another impressive, charismatic cast, an ensemble cast with some of our favorites, of course. We've got Bill Murray in there. We saw Tilda Swinton a little bit earlier. Ralph Fiennes joining the cast this time around. Is that a big part of the appeal on working on these films, the cast that you get to work with?
Yeah, I mean, Wes, to me, always casts his films like totally amazingly, and if you watch, he always has many of the same actors will come back, almost like a theater company, and there's always new actors. It's always growing, and I think that Wes gets a real thrill out of working with new people. And on this film, I think it's exploded. I mean, the Ralph Fiennes, Jude Law, F. Murray Abraham, these are all legends, titans, and for me, yes, to be able to go and work with these people every day and say that's what that's my office for the day. It's pretty incredible, and a real honor to work with these people, and also a really great learning experience.
Yeah, not a bad office to be at whatsoever. You've called Wes Anderson your mentor.
Jude Law, Jude Law, you look at him, you think, I love this man, and I want to get some running shoes like he has, because he looks like he's in really good shape.
Is that right? Running shoe envy of Jude Law. Thanks very much, Jason Schwartzman.
I have it.
Yeah, you have. Well, it's a pleasure to speak with you, and the movie is spectacular, possibly one of my favorite Wes Andersons to date. Cotton candy for the eyes. Jason Schwartzman,
good.
Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great to check in with you.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. And the Grand Budapest Hotel is on now in theaters. For more information, you can head to breakfasttelevision.ca. It is certainly a ride worth hopping on.